Driver, don't stop at all.
YouTube, what up? When you buy a truck, you gotta decide which license plate you're gonna put on that truck. And how you decide which license plate you're gonna put on that truck depends on where you're gonna run that truck. Right now I'm gonna talk about Florida because that's where I'm from. So on your truck, well, this license plate I'm showing on the screen right now, if you from Florida or you're familiar with Florida, this is the most common plate that you're going to see on the cars. You can put this plate on your truck. So if you buy a truck that you're just going to run inside of Florida, you could put this plate on your truck. Or if you might only cross state line 1 or 2 times a year, but majority of the time you're in Florida, you could run this plate and you could just get a permit for the states that you're going to go into. But if you're going to constantly go outside of Florida, it wouldn't really be cost effective to get this plate right here, because you got to keep on getting the permits. And the permits are good for a couple of days, so it's not just a 1-day permit. You could get multiple days on it, but it's not going to be like a month or so. It's going to be shorter than that. Now, on this plate right here, for example, if you have an old plate laying around the house, or you have a car that you had sold and you turn in the plate to DMV, now you buy a truck, you could get back that plate that you turn into DMV and put it on your car. They'll just register it for the truck, which means they'll put a higher gross vehicle weight on that plate. And that's something a lot of people don't know, that on your truck, the registration show that you show the gross vehicle weight registered for that vehicle. Now, if you get this plate, you gotta make sure when you go DMV to do your registration, make sure they understand that this plate will be going on a semi-truck. Don't just tell them it's a truck. Because when you tell them it's a truck, some of them people work in DMV, they don't know the difference between a pickup truck, a state truck, and a semi-truck. So if they register this plate for under 26,000 gross vehicle weight and you put it on a semi-truck, if the DOT pull you over, they could give you a ticket for it because the weight on your registration don't match the weight on their truck. If you are running this plate, you do not need IFTA stickers on the side of your truck. Like if you're running to Florida a lot, or even whatever your home state is, notice the guys that run local that do not cross state line, they don't have IFTA stickers on their truck. You just gotta pay your $22.90 every year, and that's it. You don't gotta worry about IFTA. With this plate, they give you the option to do your registration for 6 months or 1 year, whichever one you choose to do. So you could do every half a year, you renew your registration. When I had this plate on my truck, it was $712 for 6 months. Or you could do the whole year for $1,400 and some change. Some states allow you to do the in-state registration quarterly. So every 3 months you'll be renewing your registration. Sometimes work out to be more expensive than if you get the 1 year apportion plate. But that all depends on the state you're in. So if you just get a truck and you're getting started and you're trying to cut down on the amount of stuff that you're going to pay out, you have a plate like this, just go ahead transfer it to the truck, if you know you're not going to cross state line, that will save you the money from having to pay for a new license plate. You're just going to pay a transfer fee and the registration fee. If you're getting this plate, you could just walk into any tag office and apply for this plate. Or you could still do it online. Not necessarily do it online, but you could mail in the application to Tallahassee and apply for this plate right here. When they give you the registration, it'll have the expiration month and the expiration year on it. So you'll have those little yellow stickers that you stick on the plate. So it'll just be similar to the plate on your car. You just register for a semi-truck instead of registering it for a car. Now, on this plate, you can move it from a car to a truck, but once you put it on a truck, you can't move it back down to a car. So if you decide, all right, I'm going to put a portion plate on the truck, but I'm going to buy a car, so I'm going to take this plate and put it on the next car I buy, they're not going to allow you to do that. They're going to tell you got to get a new plate, because the gross vehicle weight registered on this plate right here, for some reason, they won't cut it back down to a car plate. Now, other states might have the same options, I'm not sure. But I've only registered trucks in 2 states, and I know both those states have the in-state only plate, and then you have the other plate if you're going across state line. So check with your state, see if they have that option. If you're not going to cross state line, you just go ahead and get the in-state only plate for whatever state you live in. If you decide to get the in-state only plate and you're going to lease on to a carrier, make sure you check with that carrier that they're not going to have you cross state line, or they don't have a lot of loads going across state line, or they have enough loads in your state to keep you busy. That way you're not going to cross state line, or you're not tempted to cross state line. For example, if you live in Jacksonville, it's a lot of loads go up to Savannah. So if you live in Jacksonville, you might want to consider getting a portion plates instead of getting the Florida only plates, unless you are 100% sure that they have enough loads that'll keep you busy without going up to Savannah. Or you know to yourself that whenever it gets slow and they tell you, hey, the only thing we got is going to Savannah, you'll be alright taking the day off. Other than that, you might be tempted to go over into Savannah without a permit. If you don't want to pay for the permit, I wouldn't recommend doing that, because you get caught over there without it, and DOT is going to have a field day with you. If you're running outside of Florida, so you live in Florida, you're running regional, you're running OTR, this is a plate that you will have on your truck. You're having a portion plate. And with this plate, you will need IFTA stickers on the side of your truck. So when you see them trucks with those numbers on the side of it, red, whatever color it is, those are your IFTA stickers. You need an IFTA account to get those stickers, or the carrier you lease onto will provide IFTA stickers for you. Now, with this plate, you have to do your registration for 1 year, 12 months. It's not necessarily January to December. It could be April. You could start in April to March. You could start June till May, November till October. However, whichever month you start, it'll be good for 12 months. That's your portion plate. They don't give you the option to do it for 6 months. And your portion plate could range from $1,200 for the year up to $1,600 for the year. What they use to determine how much exactly it is, I'm not sure. But it could be somewhere in that ballpark right there. Now, to apply for this plate, you could either go through an agency. I'm not going to name any of them because they're not cutting a check for it. Or you could go to the website. Florida have a website that you go to in order to apply for this plate. And the website is csatags.com. That's the website you go to apply for your portion plate. Your other option, you have two offices that I know of in Florida that you could walk in and apply for. One of them in Tallahassee, and one of them is up there in what's the name of that place? I forget the name of the place, but if I remember, I'll put it later on in the video. But you could walk into any one of those offices and apply for it. Nah, I can't remember the name of the place. But that place, I can't remember the name of it. You could just Google it up. Apply for Florida portion plates, and it'll bring up the website. It'll also bring up the phone number, the address. You could call the phone number. You could go to the website and print out the application, fill it out, and you could email it back to them. You could do everything through email with them, and they'll mail it to you. When I did mine, I got it back in 2 days, so it's fairly quick. When you're applying for this plate, start the process ahead of time, or make sure you have some time to wait, because sometimes they ask for all type of information in order to get this plate. And I'm going to do another video on what all you need to apply for this plate. The other plate I showed previously, that's an easier plate to get. Every year they change the color of this plate. Those are 3 colors right there. They keep switching them every year. The one I got in 2018 is the bottom one, the yellowish color. So once I renew in 2019, they'll be giving me another color. I'm not sure what it's gonna be, but I guess that's what they use to tell if your registration up to date or not. Depending on your state might not give you a new plate every year. Every year Florida give you a whole brand new plate, different color. Some states, one state I registered in before, they didn't give you a new plate every year. They just give you the new stickers for the year. So every year your plate renew in the same month. So they just give you a new year on it. But that's just some information if you're looking to get your truck, man, about registration. Cause this stuff is not, everybody don't know this information. A lot of people don't even know how to register the truck because the carrier they lease onto register the truck for them. If you're leasing onto a carrier, whether you go out and buy your own truck or you lease the truck from the carrier, and you decide, okay, you're going to let the carrier plate the truck for you, they do everything for you. All you got to do is provide them with the truck information. Next thing you know, they tell you, hey, your tag here, come in and pick it up. So you don't know the back end of how to apply for the plate or what they ask for and stuff like that. Whenever the carrier do the plates for you, some of them charge you weekly for their plate. It could be anything from $35 a week up to about $45 a week. So do the math on that. Multiply that by 52 weeks. That'll show you how much a carrier charging you for that plate. So it might be cheaper if you go ahead and get the plates on your own. Another thing you gotta look out for too whenever you get your own plate and go lease on to a carrier, they want you to put on your registration that they are responsible for safety. And the reason they do that is so you can't go trip leasing that truck. Because if you get pulled over, DOT will see on your registration that you're not supposed to be working for the carrier that you're trip leasing with. Also, if you have your own license plate, whenever you quit the carrier, you have a license plate to drive off the lot. If the carrier put plates on your truck and you're at the terminal and you decide to quit, they're going to want the plates off the truck. So now you're not going to have a plate on the truck to drive to wherever you're going, whether you're going home or you're going to another carrier. So that's another thing you need to consider if you want to put your own plates on the truck. It might be a good thing. That way you're not tied to that carrier and feel like you can't leave because you don't have your own license plate. So that information right there might help you, it might not. Your state might be different, it might not, but at least you have a starting point of the information you need to ask or the information you need to research moving forward with getting your own license plate.